What's up, guys? You're welcome back to Code with Clinton, and we're on the video 5 of the Django blog series. And in this video, we're going to be deploying our project to Heroku. Understand? So we're going to have this blog on the internet. So anybody with a URL around the world can access this particular blog page. Understand? So it's going to be really fun as we get started the video now. Okay, simply go to your browser and search for Heroku, and you'll be brought down to this page and click on the first link you have there on the browser. So open the first link, and after that continue. So once you click on that link now, I'm being asked to log in. If you don't have an account on Heroku, just try and create one, and you will have access to most of their free features. Understand? So just create a free account on Heroku. So we are logging into I'm logging into my page now on Heroku, so it's coming up. So once you signed up and logged in, you'll be brought down to this page on your computer, and after that just click on the new button up here and say create new app. So after you've clicked on the create new app, you'll be brought down to this page. So now you are going to be required to enter a unique name that only your project will bear. Understand? So you're going to enter a unique name. So you put in something that has been used, it will not be accepted. So I'm going to simply put, let's say, Code with Clinton. So let's see, you can see Code with Clinton is available, so you can use this, and simply just click on the create app button, and that's all you need to do for now. So after you've created your app, you all have this now. So let's open the app now. Click on this open app button up here. So now you can see now we have a new URL. It says https://codewithclinton.herokuapp.com. So this is where our blog is going to be hosted on this particular URL. So now what you have to do now is to make sure that our blog is on the. We want to make sure that our blog occupies this page we see on the screen. Understand? So that's what we want to do next. So now go back to your Heroku, go back to this home page, and you can see we have 3 ways to deploy our app on Heroku. We have the Heroku CLI, we have GitHub, and we have the container registry. So I made a video before on how to use the Heroku CLI, but in this video I'm going to show you how to use GitHub to push your code to Heroku. So that's what I'll do. We're going to do that right now. So now we're going to do one more. We're going to configure a setting here. So click on the settings tab we have on the top. So just click on it. So now just scroll down. We're going to add a build pack. Understand? Just scroll down and you see this build pack, add build pack button. So click on the button. So now we're going to pick the language we are using. You know, Django is for Python, so you just make sure you pick Python here, pick Python and save changes. So that's what we need to do here. So after we've picked this now, we're going to simply search for Django Heroku, so you can configure our Django projects to be deployed on Heroku. So just search for Django Heroku. We are going to use the first link, devcenter.heroku.com. That's the official documentation. So open the first link, just click it. So now we are on the page right now. So you can see it said configuring Django apps for Heroku. So the basics, we are asked to create a proc file for our Django project, a proc file. So after the proc file, so let's create a proc file first. So go down to your Django project, and in the root directory, we are going to create this proc file. So simply right click here and create a new file called proc file without an extension. Understand? So just simply say proc file, no extension. So just say, so go back to that page again. You can see we are asked to put this into the proc file. So copy this and let's paste that in the proc file. So paste that there. So now you can see this is my project refers to our Django project. So our Django project on this on our app is called my blog. This is our Django project called my blog. So I'm going to put it there, my blog, not your app but the Django project. So that's it now. So save this right now. So now we're going to configure our static files. Understand? So now go down to your settings.py file, or simply let's go down to Django Heroku static files. So simply search for Django Heroku static files. Enter. So click the first link. So you can see we have it open now. So we are going to copy this link, this static roots. We have the static URL and the static files there in our Django project, but we don't have the static root. So just copy this, Control C, and paste it in your settings.py where you have the static URL. Just underneath the static URL. So let's paste it underneath the static URL. So paste here. So it's from these static files our Heroku is going to be able to view our static files. Instead, from this folder called static files. So now, before we proceed, now we're going to we need to also install a library that's going to help host our static files on Heroku, and that library is called White Noise. So let's host that. So let's use the library now. So our white noise helps to serve our static file on Heroku because Django cannot serve static files on the production level. So just scroll down a bit. You see here, you see what it says there. Django does not support serving static files in production. However, the fantastic white noise project can integrate into your Django application and was designed with exactly this purpose in mind. So simply, you just have to install. Just simply run this command: pip install white noise into your project. Go down to your project terminal and install this command. So let's do that right now. So you're going to run your command here: pip install white noise. Okay, enter. So after you've installed white noise, okay, you just go back again to that page again, scroll down a bit, and we're going to copy this middleware class we have here, whiteness of middleware.white noise middleware, and copy this. We're going to paste this in our middlewares in settings.py file. So let's look for where our middlewares are. And before I forget, I'm going to show you also how to hide this sensitive data we have here, our host, our database host, the database password. I'll show you how to hide this data. They are so sensitive. It's also the Django secret key. I'll show you how to hide all this because they don't need to be exposed at all. So I'll show you how to hide them at the end of this video. So now pasting the code you copied in the middlewares. So okay, that's it now. Just save your work now. After this now, we are going to run a command: python manage.py collect static. You can see here we have our static folder where our static files are being hosted from when we are on development level. So I'm going to create a new directory, a new folder called static files. That's what we have here, static file. So it's from these static files, Django will serve static files when on production level. But we are serving from static during development, but it will be served from static files during production. So we want to do that. So let's run the command. I'm going to simply say python manage.py collect static. So after I run the command, now you can see in our Django project now we have this folder called static files, and it has the same content as our static folder. It has the same content. You can see the content: admin, assets, CSS, image, and JS. So for the static they have the same content. Understand? But the difference is that during production level, our CSS and JavaScript will be coming from the static files. But while we're on development, it comes from the static folder. Understand? So after we've done this now, so we need to run this command, this last command. It's called pip freeze the angle bracket, the angle sign, and requirements.txt. Is it requirements.txt? Yes. So this is going to help us to, okay, just run this command. I'm going to explain after that. So what the command did was that it created a requirements.txt file for us that helps to hold all our Django dependencies, all the things we installed for this Django project. If I open it right now, so you can see all the things we've installed for the Django project. So when we are trying to deploy on Heroku, it's going to be also installed on Heroku, so our Django project can stand. You understand? So after doing so, I think we are done with the Heroku configuration. all we need to do now is to push this to GitHub. So let's push our source code to GitHub. So now I'm going to visit my GitHub page right now, create a repository, and host our projects on GitHub. And so let's do that. So now, so now I'm on my GitHub homepage now. So I'm going to create a new repository. So create new repository. So now we're gonna give this repository a unique name. So I'm gonna call this. So let's call it new blog. New blog. Oh, that name is not available. Okay, let us say Clinton's. Let's say Clint's blog. Name not available. Clinton blog. Okay, Clinton blog is available. So I'm gonna set this to private. Why am I putting this to private? Because I don't want people to access our secret key, I don't want people to access our sensitive information yet. So I'm going to set this to private. So once they visit our GitHub repository, they will not be able to see this new repository we created. So I'm set it to private now. So we're going to add a README file. So let's add a README file for this. So we're going to put a brief description of our project. We're going to just simply say, here's the source code. Source code for our blog sites. So that's what we need to do now. So as I said earlier, I created the repository name. So just click on the create repository button. So our repository has been created on GitHub. So what we need to do, what we need to do is to push our source code to the new repository that we have created. So I'm going to open my git bash terminal. So let's open the git bash. I can run some git codes there. Okay, my git bash terminal is open. So I'm going to cd into my desktop. Okay, so I want to clone the repository we have on GitHub. I want to clone this repository I created. So I want to have it on my computer. So just click on this that downward arrow and copy this code. So come down here, in our desktop, you're going to clone that repository on the desktop. Now just paste the code here, paste and enter. Okay, so I've cloned our Git repository on my desktop, you understand? So you understand, just by running this code, git clone, and the code I said you should copy from here. So just put that code in your VS Code or your git bash terminal, is going to work, understand? So while cloning, you might be asked to put in your GitHub username and password. So just simply provide those information. Understand? So I'm going to show you this repository on my desktop. So it's called Clint blog. So I'm going to open it. You can see we have those gits initialized in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all my source code into that repository, and it's over here my blog. So I'm going to copy everything I have here and paste in that repository. So into D again, go back there to the cleaned blog. So I'm going to paste all my source code here. So everything will be pasted here. So it's currently pasting. So now we have all our source code on the Git repository, you understand? So now we are going to push the code now to GitHub. So let's push it. So now come down to your git bash terminal. So just simply git add dot. So you're going to add up all the files to our Git repository. So do that. Okay, I ran into an error. That's because I wasn't connected to the internet. So let's do that again. Okay, we need to cd into our repository. You simply say cd Clinton blog. That's not the repository. So we need to go into the repository. cd means you going inside. So we're going to add all the files. So I'm going to say git add dots. I'm just going to add all our files to this Git repository. So it seems all the files has been added to the repository. So we need to commit those files now. So I'm going to run one more command. So we're going to run this. We're going to simply say git commit. We're going to simply say the message on to pass. We're going to call this our first commit. Let's say first commit. So enter. So all our source code have been committed to our Git repository. So now we need to push this to GitHub. Now we need to push. We're going to simply say git push origin main, where main serve as the master branch, the main branch. Understand? Git push origin main. So enter. So I'm going to be asked to put in my my GitHub username. So I'm going to just simply input it. So okay. So I'll be asked to put in my password next. So I'm going to input that. So I'll just click OK. So just click no, no. So we are pushing our code to GitHub. I just pray our repository is big enough to take up all the source code. If not, we're going to run into an error, and we'll be able to fix the error. So now our source code have been pushed to GitHub. So you can see can see to this URL. So go back to that GitHub page now. I'm going to refresh the page now. You see all the source code lining up here. So you can see our source code now because everything is available on GitHub. That's nice. So what we want to do next is connect our GitHub to Heroku. So let's do that. So now let's connect our GitHub to Heroku. So go back to the Heroku page. Okay. So go to deploy. You can see we have some tabs on top. So click on deploy. Okay, so now you can see we have different deployment methods. We have the Heroku, CLI, we have GitHub, and the container registry. So click on GitHub. So just scroll down a bit. You can see now we have this is my GitHub username. So I'm going to input the name of my repository, and it's called Clinton blog. So just Clinton log. So just simply search for it. So I'm going to take some moments. Okay, you can see now we have Clinton blog. You can see it says Clinton code 20/Clinton blog. So you're going to connect our GitHub repository. So click on the connect button. So it's now connected. Understand? It's now connected. You can see here GitHub connected. So now we are going to come down here and click on deploy branch. So we hope everything runs well. We hope that we pray for no error. So deploy branch. Click on the button. So you see our source code, our project source code being deployed on Heroku gradually. You can see from this section it is being deployed on Heroku. Follow it, you can see. So it's deploying the project on Heroku. So I hope it keeps going smoothly like this. So it keeps deploying. Hope it keeps going smoothly like this. No errors yet. No errors yet. So it continues. So we are still deploying on Heroku. So we've not encountered an error yet, and I pray we do not encounter any. Okay, so we are almost done. We're almost done. Almost done. You can see it's compressing. You can see what it says here, compress. After the compressing, we are done. Done. You can see we are done with this now. So okay, we hope everything works well. So we're gonna go back to. So now we're gonna come back to this page we have, or you can see. Just click on this view button. Open on a new tab. Let's open this view button on a new tab. So you can see our domain name called Clinton up there. You can see code clinton.heroku.com. So it's trying. Oh, you can see we ran into an error. I forgot this. I should have added this. So we need to add this URL code is clinton.herokuapp.com to our allowed host in settings.py file. So let's go and add these URLs there. So let's do that right now. So I am on my settings.py file now. You can see you have allowed hosts here. So you're going to input our project URLs, the link, the domain names, understand, in this allow host. So now I'll just go back to the page now. I'll copy this. So this code is clinton.herokuapp.com. So copy it. It's one of our allowed hosts to copy. So I'm going to paste in that list, this bracket. So paste it there. So we have it there already. So we have local hosts when we are on development server. We're going to put our local hosts. And we also have the 127. So I can't really recall that. So I'm going to simply copy that from here. 127.800. Control C. So I'm going to paste that in our. So paste that here. So we're going to move the HTTPS. So these are the allowed hosts for our Django project. Understand? So we're going to save this. We'll save and we're going to update our code on GitHub again because we know we've made some changes. We're going to update the code on GitHub. So come back here again. We're going to simply run this command git add, enter. So let's say git status. Okay, I know what the problem is. Okay, we need to simply, so I'm going to simply open my, so I'm going to open a new window. So I'm going to open the source code, our source code from the GitHub repository. You understand? From this one again. We're going to be working with the GitHub repository right now. So I have that on my desktop. Open folder from the desktop. So go down to my desktop, double click. So I call this Clinton blog. Okay, you can see it up here. So I'm going to open this folder. So now we're going to work with this source code. Understand? Because this way we have our Git initialized or not on the format we have been working on. So we're going to maximize this. Open settings.py file. So that should be in our Django project, my blog, and settings.py. Just coming up. So now I'll simply copy my allowed host from the other one we created. So I'm going to copy the allowed host from here. So copy everything. So Shift 1, Control C. So we're going to paste it over here. Just go down to where we have allowed hosts. Paste it here. So save. So now I'm going to close this my other Git. This is my other VS Code window because we're not working with this again. Understand? So we're working with just this one. So we've added that here. So save your file, and we're going to go back to our Git terminal and Git add again. Git add. You can see the changes have been added. So we're going to commit git commit message. We're going to call this allowed hosts configured. Allowed hosts configured. So enter. So it's going to take some time before it runs. It's one file change. That's our settings.py file. We made some changes on the settings.py file. So now what we need to do is this. Now we need to push this to GitHub using the git push origin main command. Git push origin main. Enter. So I'm going to close this. Say no to them. So be asked to put in our username on GitHub. So I'm going to put that in. So okay. So we ask put in the password now. So click on OK. So we're going to push. So say no and no again. So it's being pushed again to GitHub. So we're going to redeploy again instead. So it has been done. So go back to the page again. Okay, on Heroku. So we can even set automatic. We can set enable automatic deploys whenever we make changes on our GitHub repository. But now leave that. We're going to deploy this branch again. It's not going to take much time this time. So it's going to get deployed again. So you can see it's loading outputs. So it started all over, but it's not going to take much time. If you can watch, you can see now we are now compressing in a few seconds to be done. So be patient. Okay, you can see we are done. So now after this, now all we need to do, so go back to that page where we have an error. Let's refresh the page again. So refresh. So hope no error occurs again. So it's loading. You can see it says page not found. That's true because remember from here you can see this 127 down to 8001 is what we have here. 127. You can see this 127 to 8001 is what we have on this page. So we are going to have to put slash blog before we can see any output. So just put slash blog, enter. So it's loading. Perfect. You can see we have our page now live on the internet through this URL https forward slash code.clinton.herokuapp.com. You can see our project live. You can see everything is live. So now you just go by yourself to the base template and simply change this, put in something you want to put there. You can put in a logo text or simply a logo on this start bootstrap. Everything is working. You can also edit your title and put in the name you want, the customized name you want. So you can see we have our project on GitHub now. That's good. So now what I want to do now, I want to show you how to hide those our secret information. That are so those like our secret key, our database host name, the database password. This information are so vital. It should not be exposed. Understand? So I'm going to show you how to hide those information right now. Okay, so now it's time for us to hide our secret information like our secret key, our database host name, the password, and the username. So just go down to your Windows Start menu. So click on it. Simply search for env instead. So go down there. Okay, just simply put env in the search bar there. Oh, sorry, env. So I'm gonna try it again. I don't know why it's taking time. Env. Okay, if you watch closely, my Windows is not responding to me. So I'm gonna try the last time. Env. It keeps loading. So there's an alternative way to do this. Just simply right click on your stats icon. So open control panel. Yes, control panel. So just come to this search bar here and simply search for env. Env. Okay, you can see just double click on this and it's gonna open. No, this is not what I asked for. So once you search on control panel, just simply click on the first link, environment variables for your account, not for system environment, for your account. So just click on it. Okay, you can see it's open. If you watch closely, our environment variable is open. So go now to the user variables. So we are going to add some new variables, understand? So I'm going to go down to my VS Code now and copy. Let's copy our secret key first. So let's copy this. I'm going to copy this secret key, Control C. So go down to the. So I'm going to go down to env again. So let's say new. So I'm going to call this secret key underscore key. So I'm going to put in the actual code and click on OK. So our secret key has been added. So we're going to add one more new. That should be our, let's say, DB password, our database password. So I know this is called I love Postgres. So okay. So now I'm going to create a new one again. That should be for our, what was it called again? For our database hosts. Yes, it's okay. It's up here. I'm going to copy this. Control C, get down again, select again, new. I'm gonna call this db hosts underscore hosts. So I'm gonna put in the host link and OK. So we're gonna create one new one again, and that should call our username. db user, it's called client. So let's do that. So new db underscore user. It's called clients. So that's what we need to do now. So OK and OK. Understand? So now we're going to simply connect to these things. So we're going to simply import OS, come down here, we're going to remove what we have here, and simply say os.environ.get, it's called secret key. The name is called secret key on our environment variable secret underscore key. So we're going to copy this and do for the remaining three we created. Control C, and we're going to go down here. So just here for our database name, database host, going to paste that here. We called it db host, right? I'm going to simply say db underscore hosts, and for the username, I'm going to call this db underscore user, and for password, it's going to be called db password. I don't know that, is it db password or what did I call it? Oh, forgotten. So let's simply look for environment variables again. Okay, db password is what I called it. Just gonna call it, I'm gonna say db underscore password. So that's it now. So we're gonna save. After saving, just close our VS Code, close the text editor and reopen it. So it's gonna get connected. Okay, so my VS Code has been reopened. So let's run server to make sure that there is no errors. So Python, okay, Python manage the spy run server 8001. Okay, so it's running. Okay, I've been having this error called, you can see, password authentication failed for user claims in the password authentication field. This was once DE. If you look well your code, so I changed it to DB. Save now. I also hope the error disappears. Run server, small letter, run server 8001. Enter. Just pray that no error pops up. So be done with this once and for all. You can see everything is working fine. The error was coming because I called that DEOs instead of DBOs. So everything is fine now. So before that, we're going to do one more changes here. We're going to set our debug to false. Debug to false. If this is true, for example, something like this, if I remove this blog, remove the blog now, enter. As I said earlier, if our debug is set to true, and we are on the wrong, for example, you know it should be slash blog, but we are not on slash blog. You can see it says this page was not found. You don't want this kind of information to be exposed, to be seen. So this is always exposed whenever debug is set to true. So it's advisable you set your debug to false. Understand? So make sure it's set to false. Set default to false and save now. So we are going to recommit back to our GitHub repository. We're going to git add, git push. Understand? So let's do that. So now let's update our repository again. Just simply come down here, git add. Okay, so we're gonna commit again. Simply run git commit. I'm gonna call this debug and secret information, secret info configured. So I'm gonna push down to Heroku again, to our git repository. So let's git push origin main. So enter.
Bluetooth mode.
Sorry for that interruption. So we're gonna say no again. Sorry for the interruption. So we're gonna input the username again. Sticky not unexpected. Cleansing code 20. So I just mentioned it. Okay, and the password is this. Okay, so we're gonna run. So the code is gonna run. So say no and no again. So it's gonna be added. Okay, it has been, our GitHub page has been, our repository has been updated. So now we're gonna, you see what we have here, like this these environment variables. Now we're going to set them on Heroku. Understand? We need to set them on Heroku. So go down to Heroku. Okay, go down to Heroku now. Just under the settings, click on settings. So our setting is opened now. So just scroll down. We're gonna add some variables, review config vags. So we want to add those variables down here now. So now I have my DB hosts. Simply copy this, Control C, come down to the browser. So the browser here, we're going to add that, Control V. So I'm going to copy the host itself, so which is this. So I'm going to copy that and paste down the browser in this, paste here. So you click on add. So I'm going to do it two more. I'm going to do this for the other stuff, for secret key. So it's called, I can't remember what I call it again. So I'm going to go down to my, oh, it's not found again. So go down to my environment variables. So where's our secret key called again? So I'm going to copy the secret key, Control C, paste down here again the value. It's called secret key. So add this. So now I'm going to also add our DB user, DB underscore. Okay, host. Our host is called Clint. So add this. We're going to also add our DB password. Oh, I made a mistake. There's a mistake somewhere. Okay, our DB host is not called Clint. Our DB host is supposed to be DB user, not DB host. You understand? So I'm gonna edit this now. So our DB host is not Clint. So here's our DB host. So we're gonna open our environment variables again. So our DB host is what we have here. So we're gonna copy that and let's paste down there again. So save changes. Okay, now our DB user is this now, Clint underscore user, called him Clint. So add. So now we're gonna add our DB password, DB underscore password. So we call that I love Postgres. So you need to add this to Heroku. So save now. So now we are gonna simply deploy again to Heroku. So now deploy branch. So we're starting again, so it's deploying. So we're gonna just be patient for some minutes. So we're almost done, and the computer now is done. So now we're gonna refresh the page again, which is this. Oh no, this. Make sure you go down to /blog, enter. So we hope everything works well. Okay, now we are on our blog page now. Everything is working fine. Our environment variables were all placed correctly. There was no error. But I'm having an issue now. You can see I do not have the images again. You can see all the images have disappeared. That's to tell you that Django struggles with serving images on Heroku. So I use a third-party library called X3 Bucket to serve images. I might make a video on that. If the demand is high, I'm going to surely make a video on how to use Django X3 Bucket, sorry, AWS S3 Bucket to serve images. But for now, our blog is online. We're on a live server. Just go down to coolwithclinton.herokuapp.com. You're going to see this blog online. So thank you for watching this video. Till we see the next video. Thank you. Stay blessed and bye-bye. And don't forget to subscribe to Code with Clinton. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.